So today is lesson 5, empty your cup. Lesson 5 of 8 lessons lupus taught me from surviving to thriving with autoimmune disease. I'm Callie Ray. I'm the author of 8 lessons lupus taught me from surviving to thriving with autoimmune disease. And we were actually on our 50 and 50 book tour, going to all 50 states the year my husband and I turned 50. Promoting the book and letting people know that there's a better way, that you don't have to be struggling and just surviving with autoimmune disease, but that you can actually thrive and love your autoimmune diseases. And I was out doing that crazy message. We were ready, we were just gearing up 2 weeks out from our third leg of our 4 trips when COVID hit. And so I don't have to tell you what has happened in 2020. It's been a crazy year and everything was grounded. And so I decided, well, I pulled back. I just went into self-care mode. I was completely out of my Rise to Shine community and not really doing anything because we were shut down, and we were just kind of waiting and just like you, trying to figure out how to make ends meet because we couldn't work and we couldn't go to school and everything was just chaos, right? So as we get into the end of the summer and people are talking about our new normals, I'm like, no, this is not going to be my new normal. I am going back to thriving. I am taking control of my choices and my circumstances, and I can thrive despite COVID, despite 2020, and I'm going to end my year thriving. And so I sat down to do that. I sat down and got all of my my processes in order, my systems that I know work. And as I started into it, I realized, wait a second, this is totally selfish of me to go through this on my own. And I need to tell my community, I need to tell you with autoimmune disease that it's okay, that yeah, I'm not thriving. I am surviving, and I have pain that I haven't had in a decade. I have put on 50 pounds since in the last 9 months, or since January, so 10 months. That I have fatigue and depression. You know, all of these things that I had, that I struggled with before, have come back in blazing glory. And it's not welcome, but it's real. And it's because of the stress and chaos. It's because I have not been living well. I was just overnight back on autopilot, which meant I was back in the standard American diet, standard American lifestyle. And even though I've kept some of my, some of my living well things that are just a part of me, it wasn't enough to offset the chaos. And I know you're in the same place. If you weren't, you wouldn't be here with me today. So, I just decided that I needed to let you know that it's okay, that it sucks right now, and that there is a better way and that we can get there. And I know how to get there, so I'm inviting you along with me. And each week, I'm introducing another lesson out of the book. And it just so happens that by the weeks, we start November 1st and we'll end the last week of December, and which puts us into living well in the new year. And our new, the new normal is going to be thriving. I'm done being a caterpillar. I've been there, done that. I want my wings back, and I'm going to claim them. So I do want to caution that, if you're coming into this and you haven't seen the other videos, then go back and watch from the beginning, because it's not linear. No journey is linear. You're going to find some things are going to take you longer than others, and you might find some roadblocks and hiccups, and that's normal. But there is a little bit of a hierarchy. Like, you really cannot address the things we're going to talk about today until you've addressed the foundation of pain and the way I know to get rid of pain is to heavy load those antioxidants. So until you've really dealt with the physical piece of it, it's hard to get to the higher level emotional and energetic piece of it, because pain is louder. And same with fatigue. Until you've addressed the fatigue, you really can't get to this higher, these last few lessons that I'm going to talk about, because you're too exhausted. You just don't have the energy to do it. Ironic, we're going to talk about energy. So, so there is a hierarchy. Go back and come in order, but know that it may take more than a week. It will take more than a week. I'm introducing it weekly just because it needs to move along. And if you're reading the book, you're going to read it in 4 hours. Oh, which reminds me, I am giving the book away from now until New Year's. So if you want a copy and don't have a copy already, then contact me, reach out. And if you just stumbled upon this, or if a friend shared this video with you, send me your email so that I can put you in the mix and get you in our group. I'm not doing it on social media. I'm not doing it to the masses. It's just our small little group of those with autoimmune who really are tired of it and really are ready to thrive, really ready to embrace a different way. And so send me your email. I just having you cover the shipping and handling if you want a book, and I'll send it out, my gift to you for 2020. We're going to get through this together, okay? So today's lesson 5, right? Empty my cup. Yes, empty your cup, lesson 5. See it? There it is. So this lesson, this term, empty your cup, actually came to me from my husband, because he is a martial artist and has studied under Bruce Lee for a long time. And one of Bruce Lee's philosophies was you need to empty your cup, meaning that you get rid of the knowledge. I mean, you don't get rid of it, but you set aside your previous skills and techniques and knowledge, and you open yourself up to a new learning, a new way, and that you're constantly in this balance of emptying and filling, so that you're constantly progressing in your study. And I realized after the fact that I had that same lesson, and I'm really good at learning the lesson after the fact. So I'll be in it. When I'm in it, I'm like, I don't get it. Why do I have to go through this? And then when I'm done, I'm like, oh, I see that. And so it came very clear to me. And the way I was taught this lesson, it was accidentally, kind of like my big epiphany with Juice Plus and the necessity of fruits and vegetables and nutritional healing, and how I just dove into the nutritional healing. I was exposed to another gal in the same women's and children's health networking group, and she had just finished her certification in Amma Bodywork, and she was giving away massages to build her practice and to help educate people as to what Amma Bodywork was. And I didn't know what Amma Bodywork was, but a massage sounded nice. I've only had a couple of them. I was no expert by any means. But because, again, going back a couple of videos, I never had time for that. I couldn't afford that. That was my story, okay? So now I had kind of started to put that aside, and I recognized how important it was for me to make it a priority and make time and find money and those kinds of things, so that I could take care of myself and make health my #1 priority. So I scheduled an appointment, and first of all, you lay on your back, which at that time I wouldn't have been able to lay on my stomach if I wanted to, because it hurt. Actually, by the time I saw her, I didn't have the pain that I did like from my arthritis, but I was still pretty much a wreck. So anyway, on your back, and she looked at my tongue and took my radial pulses, and I was like, Okay, I'm a speech therapist and I know a lot about tongues. That's, yeah. But you can tell the function of my organs by looking at my tongue. That was mind-blowing to me. And so I spent my whole massage interrogating her, trying to understand what she could see and how she could see it, and schedule another appointment. And I saw her for 3 years until she had a baby and left the practice. But I learned so much. And the really crazy thing was, remember, I come from a Western medicine practice. That's my philosophy, that's my upbringing, that's my therapy. I mean, that's how I do therapy, everything. We treat symptoms. I go into the doctor and I tell them what my symptoms are and they give me medicine. That's just how it functions. And in my work with Amma, I realized that there was a different way, and not necessarily a better way, but one thing about Western medicine, what they call allopathic medicine, is that it's very symptom oriented and very acute. So if you have an acute affection or an acute injury, like a car accident, they're the best to put you back together again. But if you have a chronic infection, a chronic disease, they're not as good at figuring out why. Because if it's a bug, a virus, a bacteria or a virus or something like that, then they can figure out what the cause is and get rid of it. But if it's chronic, autoimmune, there's nothing to treat. It's symptoms. And so for many decades, and I think there's probably even still out there, I know there are, because I know the doctors, that think it's in your head. And that's why you think you're crazy, and that's why you feel like you're so alone, and you look fine. Why are you not fine? Now, the autoimmune prevalence is becoming so, it's so epidemic that they can't deny that it's real. So we're now starting to see that just because there is no physical reason for your symptom, it doesn't mean that it can't be treated. So that was that crossing over, and it was mind-bending for me to go from allopathic to Eastern medicine. It just was, it was such a shift. But it was so amazing. And that's why I went for 3 years, was because she could move things out of my body that I wasn't capable of moving out. I didn't have the tools at that time to take care of it. And like I said, just that mind-bending understanding. And I think initially, going back to that emptying your cup, I kind of felt like, well, first of all, my Western perspective, I didn't even think about energy in that way. And when I think when you hear the term, for me, when I heard the term energy healer or energy worker, I think, ooh, that woo-woo, crazy stuff. And kind of felt like reference to universe and energy and those kinds of, that perspective was flying in the face of my Christianity and my belief in God, and God as my literal father, my father of my soul. And not that, it was all this big energy field and universe. And so I think I had this closed mind about what energy is. And then when I realized, wait a second, it's everywhere. How can you deny it? And to understand that when we do an imaging test in Western medicine, we're using that same energy. So if you go and you do an MRI, an ultrasound, a CT scan, EKG, any of those, it's not like a lab where they go in and draw blood and then they go and look at your blood under a microscope or go grow the bug and find out what kind of infection you have. It's not like that. It's imaging. It's not even touching you. And we're using technology to create that image, that physical image of the energy, to see where a tumor is, or to see where an area of damage is, like in the brain, you know, that kind of thing. And to see a baby in utero, you know, think about it. It's not a physical picture. It's from the outside, and it's sound waves, and it's crazy. So when I realized that, I'm like, well, I don't understand any of that. So how could I possibly think that I would understand energy? And how could I possibly be so narrow-minded to think that it's flying in the face of God, or that it is not real? It's very real. Just because you can't see it and you can't feel it doesn't mean it's not real. And if you think about your words, you know, are you low energy? Are you high energy? That's just talking about your frequency, right? And we all have frequency on the radio dial. We dial in different frequencies. And that's not weird to us. That's just the way it is. We send and receive cell phone messages, videos. It's all wireless these days. We don't have cords anywhere. And even when we do have cords, it's not sending a physical picture. It's sending energy. And then it's translated into something that we can see. So again, our whole world is energy. And so to deny that is really, I like this and this story, this analogy. If you've ever, you know, we think back in the early days when they would talk about the earth being flat, and the people would want to go sail the ocean, and they were like, oh, no, you can't do that because you'll fall off of the earth. And then they realized they would come back. And they said, no, the earth's not flat because I can do this. And it doesn't, we didn't fall off the earth. And now we have pictures. We can go out into space and we can actually see the earth and know that it's round. And so I kind of feel like if you can't wrap your mind around energy work and the fact that you are energy, and that you can manipulate that energy just like you can manipulate any tangible thing, it's kind of like thinking that the world is flat. You're kind of, you know, you need to open your mind, and you need to look at the science, because now we know so much more, and that it's a real deal. So that's energy. You've got to recognize energy work, okay? Or energy in your body. And the reason it's so important with our autoimmune, what I recognized then was that, oh my goodness, I am packing around, I was working in healthcare. And so I was constantly, think about the people that are in healthcare, right? They're coming to me because they've had trauma, they've had serious disease, many of them, you know, life-threatening. And they're kind of under a lot of stress, not the healthiest. That's why they're there. And I was taking that energy with me. I was taking all of that pain and discomfort with me and not recognizing it. And I bet you are too. I bet that you are probably picking it up all over the place, whether it is from family, whether it's from friends, whether it's from the news, whether it's from social media, whether it's from your own, you're picking it up. So here's the thing. What are you doing with it? Every single day, we do some sort of physical hygiene, right? You don't wear the same clothes 7 days in a row, and you may not shower every day, but you're probably going to brush your teeth, you're going to brush your hair. I can't wake up if I don't shower, so I shower every day. So there's some sort of physical hygiene that you're doing on a routine, regular basis. But are you doing that for your energy? We've got the physical. What about the non-physical? And when I realized that carrying that energy, picking up that energy, just like I'm picking up a radio signal going down the road. That's not the frequency I want. I need to turn the channel. But we don't do that. We just keep taking it on. And so there are ways that you can get rid of that energy that's not yours. Okay? It's kind of that magnet thing, right? Find ways to get rid of it. And so some of the strategies I learned, Amma was the one that helped me empty my cup and open my mind and learn about things like Amma work. Acupuncture would be very similar. I just don't like needles. And I really like massages, so it's just a way better thing for me. But acupuncture is probably a faster, more efficient way to move those blocks and that energy. Yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong. That's Qi is energy. So lots of strategies in Eastern medicine that help you clear and physically remove that energy block and things that you cannot see. But I would argue you can feel it. You can feel the heaviness when you're carrying dark energy, when you're carrying low energy. And there are things you can do to protect your energy, almost like putting, if you just think about it, like a little bubble around you, so that when you are in situations, I actually left healthcare for a period of time because I didn't have the tools to be able to shield myself against all of the negativity, all that I was talking about. Now I'm back in it, and I don't have as much of an issue. Clearly I'm having issues shielding myself from all of the COVID fear and that kind of stuff right now. But there's just so much dark energy in our world right now that it does take a lot of time and energy to repel it, to offload it, and to do self-care. That's what I'm finding right now. But tapping is a really great, EFT is what it's called, Emotional Freedom Technique. There's actually an app called the Tapping Solution, and Nick and Jessica Ortner are phenomenal. There's a movie and an app, and I read the movie, have the books. I participate in the World Tapping Summit every year. That has been a key, and that's what I would give you this week as your tool. Any of those, yoga, like I said, yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, acupuncture, Amma body work, massage in general, but you want it to be massage with a purpose, not just massage. And you have to be careful because, again, the people that you're dealing with, you don't want to pick up their energy either, right? So you want to make sure that you've got a good relationship there and that it's working. So check out that app, the Tapping Solution, and it walks you through the whole process. And it basically is tapping on those meridians that I do it without my glasses on because I can't hit my points with my glasses on. But you tap on the different meridian points, and it helps move the energy off. So again, whatever you choose, and explore different ones. I mean, there are so many different techniques that help move the energy out. None of them hurt. None of them are painful, expensive, any of that kind of stuff. It's free. You can just, like I said, download the app, watch the movie, go to YouTube and put in Tai Chi, Qigong. I mean, any of it. You can, yoga. There are some really great videos out there, some really great providers who you can just plug it in and watch it. But here's the key. Figure out what works for you, what you really what you like and what you feel. It's all about feel. You got to touch base. And this is going to build on when I was talking about prayer and meditation. You got to be quiet so that you can listen and know how to raise your energy, where the blocks are. And it's a process. So you're not going to get it in a week. But I would say start with tapping because it is so It is a pretty immediate fix. You can feel it immediately. And there are so many different, they can really walk you through it. So start tapping this week, okay? Start doing some sort of energy hygiene every single day, just like you do your physical hygiene every single day. And right now it is so, so, so critical because the energy around us is so dark. And you've got to find your light, because your light is where your thriving is, okay? Your light, who you were born to be, remember that conversation? You cannot get there if you are buried under pounds and pounds and pounds of negativity, okay? You've got to offload it, and it is a process. Empty your cup, all right? Empty your cup. Do it every single day. Every single day. And you might even need to do it multiple times a day as you're going through this process. But you're gonna get a feel, and that's the big thing is you are different than I am. Maybe you work in a setting that's very uplifting and comforting and high energy, and you don't have the issues that I had with healthcare. Maybe your family is loving and supportive and just there for your every, just exuding love. Then be there, okay? That's that shelter, that's that refuge. Find those oases, find those people. I hope I'm that person for you. I hope that I bring to you hope and energy and a lightness and a direction that is flowing and eternal. I really want that kind of, I want to give off that kind of energy and really recognize that it's a real thing. It's not just this foo-foo, magic, weird witchcraft stuff. It's not. It is dealing with your energetic body is your physical body for your spirit, just like this body is my physical body for my physical body, my energetic body. This is my physical body for this earth. My energetic body goes with my soul. Okay, so when you understand that, it makes sense. I don't know. Now I'm like, how did I not understand it? But I know it just feels really odd in our physical world to be open to energy. But I challenge you to do that. Open your mind, empty your cup, and do some energy clearing, energy hygiene every single day this week to get you launched. And give me some feedback. And I will put a couple of links to some resources that I really like. Like I said, I think the tapping solution for a beginner, the tapping solution is probably one of the best programs, and it's free. So that's where I'll leave it today with that challenge, with that tool. And next week we will explore lesson 6.